Hey, what's up guys? Joey Young here. It's another month and it's time for updates. I'm going to be changing up the updates a little bit for the tanks. Since I have 4 tanks, I'm going to be doing kind of an update once a week for each different tank, so it kind of divvy up the video, and that way you guys can have something to look forward to instead of having it all at once. So let's start. I'm going to go for this week. I'm going to do the Mr. Aqua because I know that you guys wanted an update on the fry mainly. And I'm going to transition this into a weekly update of the fry into just the monthly, because really nothing is going to really change other than the growth of the fry. And I think that in the month you'll probably be able to see them grow a lot bigger or faster in terms of progression. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about the fry first. So this past week I started noticing a lot of them kind of dying off. I've actually lost probably quite a few of them already, and I think it doesn't have to do anything with the parameters of the water. It's mainly, I think, just survival of the fittest. I noticed that a lot of the ones that died off were the smaller ones, and the ones that are alive now were basically double or triple the size of the ones that died off. So I mean, it's the same thing if you were to get guppies, right? I mean, you'll have like a bazillion babies of the guppies. They'll all look really nice, and then you'll probably only have like maybe a handful of them that survive. And I think it's the same way with these guys. And I do notice that there are maybe a couple other smaller ones in here, and they might not make it. And I already knew this going into it, and a lot of other hobbyists should know this as well. Fries, their life expectancy is pretty slim, and it's pretty hard to raise them, to be honest. And even if you can get these fry into like 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, I mean, that's another hurdle for especially discus, just to keep them growing nice and healthy. So we'll see what happens. I still do have a lot of them. I did count it, probably 15 or so left, and I started with 23 or 24-ish. So like I said, I did lose a bunch, but a lot of them were the smaller ones. You can also notice the dad isn't in this tank anymore. I put him back in the 125 because he was getting eaten up basically from the fry. It looks like the fry just preferred the dad versus the mom, and he was just having a lot of like just wound damages and just holes on him. So I went ahead and put him over there just so that he can recoup. And the mom is just going to be in here probably another week or so, because there are a few fries in here that are still quite small, and the size difference is amazing. If you look, for example, like this guy here is really big, and if you look at these two guys here, they're like half the size as him or her. So I'm just making sure that these little guys still don't need their mom or their dad. And then once they kind of are eating by themselves, I will eventually move the mom out so that she can have her own thing with the bigger tank. And so that's the update in the fry. They're growing, the ones that are surviving right now, they're growing pretty nice size. I will probably have like 4 pretty good size guys that are just growing, like outgrowing the other ones for sure by a lot. Another thing with the other fish in here, I moved them to the 60p. So the white clouds and the celestial Daniels that I had in here, I moved them all to the 60p, just because one, they were always hiding back there, and they were always afraid of these discus, because they basically would just kill them if they were anywhere close to these fry. And so I just decided to move them there, and there's going to be kind of a rescape on the other tank anyways. So the only thing in this tank is the discus plus the discus fry, and just the reticulus, the loach in the back there. There's 2 of them here. And I plan on to add in maybe a couple plecos down the road once I find something that I like. But in terms of the fish are doing fine except for the dad and a couple casualties in the fry. And as you can see, for the plant side, I hacked off a lot of the plants, and actually I removed all the Ludwigia on this side here, and I replaced it with the Ludwigia Cuba, and basically I'm going to sell off the Botellas. Kind of was overgrowing and whatnot, so I think these were a better fit anyways. If you can see, I removed, or I'm removing slowly, you can see two of these floaters here, and these are sewed, but I'm slowly selling the japonicas in this, and I'm converting to some new plants. I'm going to be trying some new plants. They're called Erio something. I can't say the full name, but it's basically these guys here. These are the Parkeri version, and then there's a Compressum version, the big one here, and I'm going to be getting some other ones, and they're a plant from, I guess, Japan, and it was something new. I've never had them before. They're kind of almost similar to the japonicas, except for, you know, they're smaller, bushier. So I'm going to give those guys a try, and I'm going to eventually move those plants into the 125, and then hopefully these minis, these RA minis, will come back, because what was happening was there was a ton of plants, and it was getting covered, so a lot of these plants in front wasn't getting enough sunlight, and these kind of melted back a little bit, and understandable, you know, that happens. So I'm going to be probably removing that and pushing the RA mini all the way back there, carpeting. I have some Ludwigia tornadoes in here, just for trial and error. I haven't had success for that plant in either tanks in the 125, so I'm going to be trying it in here. I do have a couple stems in the 125 as well, so basically whatever grows better, I'm going to be trying to grow those. So I have a couple of those in there in terms of plants. So that's why a lot of the substrate here is kind of messy, because I've been pulling up a lot of japonicas here and there. Let's see, what else is new? Other than that, the scape is pretty much the same. I'm just replacing a lot of plants, so in the next couple weeks this is going to be redone, and hopefully it'll grow in and it'll look nice. So you see, as you can see, there's a couple little babies that still need the mom, so that's why I'm going to keep her in here for a little bit until she gets beat up too much. I need to remove her because now they're starting to eat on her. But she looks healthy, she looks good. But yeah, make sure you guys comment if you guys have any other suggestions, things you want to see, you know, post in the comments. You guys always can hit me up with the PM, and peace, guys.